So the quest continues to fill the Layton Trophy Cabin Lodge, and after adding the diamond whitetail jackrabbit from Layton Lakes during our revolver challenge, by my count, we are 13 down, 6 to go, and we're headed back to Layton Lakes multiplayer today to try to cut that number down even further. And this is pretty encouraging to see. That is a black bear in the new daylight drink zones. Now, the longer we go into this process of trying to complete the lodge, and the more servers we have to go to, I imagine as time goes on, more and more we will see bears in the new time. Of course, they do have to be shot, like the old population has to have respawns to use the new zones, so many servers we go into just simply aren't going to have that. I do like to see this already happening though, and maybe that makes it a little more likely that we get that one done sooner rather than later. And I think just naturally, it was always going to come down to some of the toughest species to hunt in large numbers that we'd have to go and find at the very end. The fact that the bear drink time has been changed should at least cut down on what is really hard to hunt in large numbers, at least down the line. And that's why it was so significant to stumble into that diamond jackrabbit. It's a decent coyote track, by the way. One of the other species we need. But yeah, I mean, between coyotes, black bear, and then just mallard are kind of an opportunity kill. Some of the things that we're looking for, it's largely going to be off tracks unless we can get into those drink times. And so we will be, when we get tracks, especially from a pack of coyotes, trying to track them down just in case. I'd say it's unlikely we can't find all the separate footprints. I'd imagine we'd know if there's a max estimate coyote in the pack. But the main thing is, there is that chance we could add a rare to the lodge, and I would be all in on having a rare coyote up there, especially next to a diamond red fox. It would be a good kind of mix up in that part of the lodge. They are zipping all around, but I think that level 6 should be able to get that with the 22-250. I didn't look. I'm not sure if the first shot was a lung or not, but the second shot certainly was. And getting down here now, that was indeed 2 separate vital hits, so just a 50 score in gold. But you can kind of get a sense of what this hunt is probably going to look like. Now, that's not to say we won't go after blacktail, elk, whitetail. There's still a chance to improve our lodge, and you never know what could be out here. But the main focus is going to be kind of stuff like this. Well, our first max weight estimate of the day happens to be a level 7 black bear. And on the plus side, that wasn't a heavy track that we spent a bunch of time going after and wasting time. He actually warning called down there, but we were able to just spot him and bring him down. This area over here, like in Norden, and we're going to try Chila as well, there's a lot of animals, whether it is blacktail, coyote, black bear, that just kind of hang around all the way over along the edge of the map. And I think it's going to be a good spot to just run through, look for tracks, or potentially, spot down towards the water and see a pretty big black bear. So not going to be quite what we're after. 21.07 score, got a lung, liver, stomach shot with the 308, and at least kind of moving in the right direction. So we'll continue with that and maybe see if there's anything else down here. It is unfortunate that years ago, the mallard would have been no big deal for this trophy lodge because mallards were just all over the map and constantly sitting on the water. Now with the waterfowl rework, that is far from the case. It's also apparently far from the case that we can just easily kill 2 of them. At least we got the piebald, and I've considered putting a piebald there, like even as a placeholder. They're so common though, it just seems like that would be a little bit of a waste of time. This one was decent, and I guess maybe, if we had a really high estimate level 2, we might do it. But as for this guy, not even a gold, 14.8. I guess it would look okay up there, but I want to find something a little more special than that. I do think though, as we've limited the latent species that we need down to just the 3, I'm probably going to spend more time doing exactly what we just did there. Those ducks were circling around, sat there, waited for all of them to land so we could spot through and look for rares as well as potentially level 3s. No luck that time, but probably it's going to be worth a while in the end. It's a pretty slow hunt when you rely on heavy tracks to end up finding stuff. I decided to try something a little bit different. I set it to the new black bear drink time. Because we had that one drinking in the new zones earlier, I thought maybe there'd be more on the map. Actually, hold up. I was convinced that there weren't going to be any, but that was a male bear fleeing. I don't know where to. but maybe that actually is the case. So any, like, new account, I guess, that started since that update would have black bears already in the new zones. The host was a level 60, so I didn't think that was the case, but maybe that wasn't the original host. So maybe shooting a little silver coyote is going to help us to discover a little something here. Gonna go and look for that zone. It was a good sized bear too, max weight estimate, so we gotta go and find it. And yeah, drink zone newly discovered 4 to 8. So maybe then, it's a fresh, like, population of animals. Maybe all the bear zones are going to be the early time. If that's the case, we definitely have to try to take advantage of this opportunity. So this, just a dark variant. And the thing is, he probably ran through where we can see. I expect him to go the other direction. Could be kinda tough to run him down if he stays in the brush. So moment of truth, it is just a level 7. So kind of a bummer there. However, at least we can just try to get a shot at him. I think we might have gotten a vital on the follow-up, so not huge in the sense of that specific bear, but potentially a huge discovery that can change how we're going to hunt the remainder of this video. Because keep in mind, it's not just the drink zones that have changed, it's the entire, like, zone schedule. So feed times and rest times will also be different, and that could impact how often and how many bears we encounter. Somehow, we long shot him twice with the 308. Not too bad, 20.84, so a little smaller than the max estimate one that we had earlier. But I like the looks of that, so I guess we'll kind of run around a little more in Balmont, at least check this area up here. And the bad thing is, I don't even know the best place to look for bears, but we're going to start to check all kinds of locations. It is kind of cool to see black bear and Roosevelt elk drinking in the same areas. First time for everything, I suppose. But let's go ahead and try to get this level 6, I guess. And by the way, finding a lot of black bear is one thing. Finding a big one is still proving to be an issue, even with the drink time. But I guess, at the very least, like I talked about at the beginning of the video, at some stage, more Layton servers are going to look like this one than not. So even if it's not today, we'll be able to learn stuff like where should we expect to find black bear zones? Where are maybe lakes that have several black bear zones? It's a good thing to do whether or not we actually get one in this particular server, but it sure would be nice to knock it out. Tell you what, we might have found a spot worth paying attention to. There's 2 bears there. Just had a warning call from a level 4 that just came out of that spot. And of course there's a bunch of elk and stuff here too. So at the very least, 2 or 3 zones here. And there's still that chance to get some kind of cool elk. There's a bunch of bulls. No big ones. And I guess we'll go ahead and take a level 6 black bear again, just to show you, in case you're interested or hunting for a Layton diamond black bear as well, is this little lake down here in Chila. Apparently a really good spot. So by my count anyway, black bear number 5 in this hunt, another gold, another right lung shot from the 308. And yeah, I mean, slowly but surely just kind of vaulting away some knowledge that we can use in the future for black bear drink zones. So I had the thought that this is probably something we should be doing in every server we join. I want to make sure we get him there. Okay, he could not have made that any easier the way he dropped down. But I've gone ahead and just put some decoys out. And I thought, you know what? Who knows? When you start out, this is the dock that you spawn at, like when you first play the Hunter Call of the Wild. And pretty often there are ducks flying around. And it just sort of got me thinking, oh, hold on. Are brown hybrids rare for males? Because we know piebalds aren't terribly rare. I think that might actually be. We're just going to tax that. I will try to confirm. And in the meantime, we'll sit here and get a couple more of these things. That piebald we got was decent, though. Brown hybrid females, I think, are more common. I'm pretty sure I do see those more often, which kind of makes me think maybe the brown hybrid males are. They're just not super obvious. So the thing about it is you wouldn't know it just by looking at them. And then we have a, what's that say, 17.84 piebald there. Didn't go too bad for our first flock. I wasn't even planning on using the 10 gauge. I was trying to get over here, watch them land, and then maybe pick them off with the 22. Kind of worked out better that way. Well, I think at least, based on what I could find, brown hybrid is just an uncommon, like the same spawn rate as piebald. And I'm pretty sure it's just the fact that you can't really tell when you look at a common mallard versus a brown hybrid, that the brown hybrid is a little bit different. I'll be curious. Like, that's the common. Black-brown is just the common plumage. This one also going to be black-brown. So at least we didn't kill like a couple of them. We might as well, because we already tagged the thing, and unfortunately, not having much other luck, we might as well take that guy back to lodge, and I suppose he'll be a placeholder. And just in case it did happen to be maybe more rare than the piebalds, we could have that there up until we find either a better rare or a diamond. But we'll go ahead and jump back, and at least temporarily, the small game on Layton will be completed in the lodge. Kind of fitting too, I just thought of this. Adding our brown hybrid mallard here, directly across from the brown hybrid diamond goose that we have, is at least, you know, kind of symmetrical. I don't know. I think you'd be able to see that, like, decently well. I'm definitely going to have to check into that. You guys can let me know in the comments below if that is actually a rare. I feel like I don't see them as much anymore. Maybe the information I found is outdated. Maybe we just don't do as much mallard hunting as we used to. I'm not really sure. Doesn't look too bad, though, up there on the wall. But anyway, that is going to do it for this video. So, as always, thank you guys for watching. And I'll see you next time.